My name is Ann Farrell Williams, and I was born in Mexie, Texas, which is Limestone County, in 1937. I come from a family of 12 siblings and a mother and father, grandparents who were entrepreneurs and educators. And perhaps through them, some of this journey began at that very big time. My first introduction to the arts was when I was in junior high school and high school, and I had an opportunity through a field trip from Lincoln High School to go and see the Dallas Opera. The Dallas Opera had brought in the famous opera Aida. And of course, on a field trip, my mom dressed me up that day. We were all going on the field trip with the other students from the school. And to see this magic, perhaps was in the 9th or 10th grade, but to see the magic of the sets going in and off the stage and of the characters and the singers, and the movement, because Aida did have dance in it. And I think then the lights popped in my head that it really wasn't that I wanted to be up there on that stage, but I wanted to be a part of what was going on. That sometimes was a puzzle to me because I wondered why I didn't think that I wanted to be up there moving. I wanted to make that happen. At Lincoln High School, where I graduated, I was a member of the dance group there. And in my early years in Dallas, I had an opportunity to take dance classes at the YWCA. My mom was very instrumental in paying for me to go to dance classes on Saturdays. I took ballet and tap. And that was an early experience of the beginning of wanting to move. And from high school, then, of course, on into college, where I received my undergrad degree from Prairie View A&M University. I was a member of the dance group there, did choreography even while I was at Prairie View. And from Prairie View, came back to Dallas and began teaching in Dallas's public schools, teaching dance, and decided that I needed a little more than what I had gained at Prairie View, because I knew then that I wanted to go further. And so I entered then Texas Woman's University, where I received my master's degree, and being the first African American to receive a master's degree in dance and related art from Texas Woman's University. My husband was Nathaniel Williams, and I just need to take this opportunity to tell you what a wonderful supporter, wonderful husband and father, and a leader of Dallas Black Dance Theater that he was. Starting out 36 years ago, of course, he being the breadwinner and me in the arts, it's very difficult, as it is today with a one person trying to build an institution in the arts. But seeing it amaze itself to where it is today and where it was at his demise was really simply his dream also, because he supported my dream.
Well, first of all, I think the arts culture drives neighborhoods. People want to be around the arts. It then drives the economic vitality of this city. In 1 year in this area, arts contributes over $1 billion of economic vitality to our city. But lastly, and I think most importantly, it provides us a way to dream, to envision the future, to grasp this art of the possible that we in our mundane lives don't get to see.
The arts in itself really brings a city together, because people that want to move into the cities coming from other places, the first thing you want to know, what arts, what do you have? Do you have the symphony? Is there a dance there? Is there an opera? Is there a theater? And so it's that diversity that companies are looking for. So the arts is really a business, and I'm so happy that dance is a part of the arts, even those that we have here in Dallas. It really brings that community together. Arthur Mitchell and the Dance Theater of Harlem was one of the companies that I had the privilege of bringing to Bishop College when I was heading the Bishop College Dance Department. And I would say that Mr. Mitchell was perhaps one of the most influential persons that gave me the advice of starting a dance company of my own. He and his company would constantly come to Fort Worth, and it was my privilege to have them to come to Dallas. And with teaching classes and one of his company members setting a piece on my first company, there was one of the things he said, Dallas needs a dance company, and why don't you start a dance company? Not knowing that we had that small college company, which eventually evolved into students from Dallas Black Dance Theater.
From the very beginning, Miss Williams had an education component to her dream. This is not something that started late. From the very beginning, she understood that children learn differently, that some children are visual, some auditory, but she knew that in our community, dance was a missing part of the education component. So she wanted to have kids involved to influence their education, to spark that creativity.
From the beginning, I wanted that educational experience for other boys and girls, and especially for minority boys and girls. Dallas Black Dance Theater held its first dance classes in South Dallas, on the corner of 2nd Avenue and Oakland. And of course, we were in a shopping center, and we were there for 2 years, and we had about 50 kids. And when we first started out, and of course from there, the company or the academy grew then to over 300 kids. And our first studio on 2nd Avenue and Oakland, we had ballet, we had tap, and we had jazz. And I had 6 teachers. And so it was really one of those days that the teachers came to me and said, Miss Ann, why don't you start a dance company? And my first word to them was, for what? They said, so we can continue to dance. And that was really how Dallas Black Dance Theater started.
We started in the basement of a little church over in South Dallas off of Hatcher. And that's where we would rehearse and take, our ballet and modern day classes and everything. And then we moved from there to, she got her first studio off of Hatcher, right up the street from the church. And we were there for, a long time. We would give master classes, and, a lot of the young kids would come in, and we would head off those classes for the kids, and we would rehearse for our shows and everything. And then she, Miss Williams, wonderful lady, got the opportunity to go to Paul Wynn College. It was Bishop College at that time. And we rehearsed over there. We had a studio there, and she would lay the tarmac down, and we would dance on concrete. It didn't matter. We had the opportunity to perform. That's all it was.
Dallas Black is not now and never been a place you will come and just dance. She's not interested in your dance. She's just exposing you to opportunity. So if you pay attention, she may not have been a professional dancer per se in her own right, but a professional educator, oh God, there's very few people who have the clout, I'm going to say, to push you in so many different directions.
Dance, Miss Williams, it instilled discipline because she was kind of a, not going to take too much crap. You're not going to be late. You're going to rehearse until it's time for break. You're going to come just on top of your game. There was no half-stepping. And that carries through life, that discipline that you get through dance. Because we're in class, we're taking 3-4 classes sometimes a day, an hour and a half to 2 hours in class. And it just get you in that mindset of, the discipline behind it. And you carry that through everything else in life.
And when Ann says she's going, or it's going to happen, or she's going to do it, then it's going to be done. And a lot of times you don't know quite how it's going to happen, but we all know that if Ann says it's going to happen, then we all have to help make it happen. And so we do.
After the teachers said, let's start this dance company, and I said, okay, let's see. And of course the parents were our biggest supporters, and the students, and of course the different community organizations, the Links, the AKAs, Jack and Jill, the churches, the sororities and fraternities, all of them were our supporters because we started out as a community. And that's where a lot of our funds came from. And then our first big production was funded by the city of Dallas because by that time I had realized that we were providing a service. And so I gathered about 5 or 6 of my friends that became board members. And we then got our 501c. I've incorporated papers, had an attorney, and so then we became that full-fledged Dallas Black Dance Theater. Went to the city. I was very good at that, going down to the city, talking to the mayor and to the all of the city council people to let them know about Dallas Black Dance Theater. We got our first grant from the city. And our first corporate grant came from Mobil Oil, who a friend there was a very good friend of my husband's. They had worked together, and they supported us with a grant.
Ann Williams had a dream. Ann Williams wanted a professional dance company in Dallas, Texas that would be able to have a life of its own, that would be able to not just tell the African American story through dance, and not just have African American dancers tell that story, but have dancers of all different colors, different experiences, be able to tell those kinds of stories.
Yeah, I've seen them go from a very small, dedicated troupe of local high school dancers that she nurtured all the way to performing in New York and abroad. And it has been absolutely phenomenal. They are really cultural ambassadors.
In 1986, I had a horrible car accident. There was a friend of mine, we were coming from a meeting, from a community meeting, an organization meeting, and we were on Central Expressway 75, and we were hit by another oncoming car, very detrimental to both of us because we were knocked unconscious and didn't know what was up or down until the next couple of days in the hospital. But very fortunate for both of us. We were able to recuperate. My recuperation was 3 months. Went from 2 major surgeries on my legs and was able to walk and through the wheelchair and all of that. And so thankful today that everything is okay. The only thing that it did do during that time was knocked my progress of being able to teach classes like I wanted to with demonstration, because I still can't do that grand plie. But, and I tease now and say the biggest thing that it did was messed up a beautiful pair of legs. It was during that time that I went to my board and told them that I thought this would be the end of Dallas Black Dance Theater, and that we would just close everything, because my husband and my daughter was saying, well, Mom, you got to come home, you know. And through the foresight of my board, they wanted to know what could be done to survive and to make sure that this dream stayed alive. And that was when I told them that I really needed a manager, a full-time manager. And at that time, we were able to bring on Zanetta Drew. And from that point on, she has been the manager of the administrative, and I have been doing the artistic. And it's been a wonderful partnership.
I came my first day. I spent 14 hours the first day, 12 hours the next day. And I was in a Bishop College, in an office.